Welcome to the podcast about investing in startups, where existing investors can learn how to get the best deal possible, and those that have never before invested in startups can learn the keys to success from the venture experts. Your host is Nick Moran, and this is The Full Ratchet.
Welcome to another special release of Investor Stories. On this installment, the experts discuss a startup that they did not invest in, why they passed, and if there was a key learning that now informs their approach. Here's the segment called Why I Passed. On today's special segment, we have Zach Coelius. Zach, I want to hear about the anti-portfolio. Can you tell us a story about a startup that you passed on?
Yeah, so my anti-portfolio is not startups that I passed on, but rather startups I wonder if I would have passed on. I've been lucky to be in Silicon Valley and watch from the very earliest days of Airbnb. I gave Nate ride homes from the poker game and kind of heard what they were up to when it was just them. The very beginnings of Dropbox, when Drew was sitting at the poker table and talking about Dropbox and it was just getting started. The very days of Uber when Travis was first getting involved in that company. And a dozen other companies like that, and I had opportunities to invest in all those companies. Didn't have any capital back then, so didn't really have the way to make it happen. And I really wonder if I would have invested. And so one of the thought experiments that I like to work on is like going back and thinking through that business, thinking through where they were at and what was happening, and then thinking about if I would have actually pulled the trigger and made those investments, and the lessons that I've learned in, from watching those businesses succeed, and like, what is it that made them work? What was that moment of traction that they started to get in the beginning? What was that first smoke of fire? What did that look like? That's really what I kind of I gravitate towards more than anything else. When I think about those companies in my sort of woulda, coulda, shoulda, if I had had the capital sort of portfolio.
So what's the verdict? Would you have invested after?
No idea, right? No idea. I'd like to say yes, but the fact of the matter is like this business is not about analytical certainty and being able to come up with the right answer over time. It's a high pressure, short time horizon, move fast, come to a decision, and move on sort of business. I can think about it till I'm blue in the face right now, but what would have I done when I was in that situation? I don't know. I hope I would have said yes.
On today's special segment, we have Jason Calacanis of This Week in Startups. So, Jason, you passed on Twitter. Can you tell us the story of why you passed?
Oh, God, it's so painful. I met with Ev and Biz, and we're having brunch, and they said, send a text to 40404 or something like that, and we'll sign you up. And then Biz will tell you he's having, pancakes for breakfast, and Ev's having a tofu scramble, and you're having the Eggs Benedict, and we'll each get a text. And we all got text of what everybody else was having for breakfast because it was an SMS service originally, no website, no apps, pre-app store. And I was like, oh my God, Ev, this is so stupid. You realize you took the blog post and you got rid of the post and you left the title? I said, Twitter, if it is not going to succeed, and if it does, it's going to be a cacophony of idiots. It's going to be just a bunch of people writing 140 character fragments, not even full sentences, let alone a paragraph. You can't even get your thoughts across on this thing. It's going to be a bunch of idiots trading one-liners. It's going to be so dumb. You're going backwards in your career. Blogger made people more intelligent. This is going to make people stupid. I would never invest in Twitter. And that was $50 million mistake. So, that's a super painful one. But I invested in Medium, and that is making people super smart. And I think it'll be fine.
On today's special segment, we have Nathan Benaich of Playfair Capital. Nathan, can you talk about the reasons you commonly pass on an investment, or mention a pass you made that you now regret?
Sure. Passing is definitely not fun. We do it most of the time. But really, the reason why I usually pass is because the team we're vetting is working in a market or on a problem or developing a certain product that we as a team at Playfair aren't that viscerally excited about. Because, as you know, as an investor, we have finite resources, both in terms of time and brain space and capital, that really preclude us from investing in a lot of areas. We have to pick our battles, and so we only really want to make investments when we're just super excited to work with the team and help them create a market-defining business. And I think we need to carry that enthusiasm out of the office and constantly think about the adjacencies to that business and what new things we've learned and how all of that can feed into making that business the best that it can genuinely be. And I think that we can only really have that behavior if we're genuinely excited about the problem space and the team and the market that's being developed. So I usually pass just because we're not that enthusiastic about that company, and so it's usually nothing intrinsically wrong with it. It's personal preference.
That will conclude this installment of Investor Stories. If you're enjoying the program and would like to see it continue, take a moment and leave a 5-star review in iTunes. Also, if you'd like updates on new content from TFR, as well as the top 10 VC articles every week, go to fullratchet.net and sign up for the newsletter. Okay, that will wrap things up for today. Until next time, over-prepare, choose carefully, and invest confidently. Thanks for joining me.